responsibility to lead our students and young people to a higher education. I often say in this book, while I was on death row, I started my first book club. I would sit there and I would ask the men that was around me, which was 200. I found out that only 5 of us had a high school diploma. I used to ask them, what grade did you drop out? And everyone would say the 7th and 8th grade. And I would say, what school you went to allowed you to drop out in the 7th and 8th grade? And young people got a funny way of talking to older people, and they would say, OG. I really didn't know what OG meant. They would say, OG, no one gives a damn. The principal don't care, the teacher don't care, my mom don't care. OG, I dropped out and took to the street. And I kept asking over and over. The highest those men went was the 8th grade. I wrote the warden and I told him that I wanted to start a book club. The warden called me and he said, what are you up to now? I said, warden, I realized that these men have never been introduced to a book. And I think it would be beneficial for the prison as well as them if we could get them to read a book. He said, let me think about it. I said, warden, think this way. Every day somebody's tearing up the cell. Every day somebody's throwing feces out on your officer. Imagine if they could read a book, and imagine if they could take that book and just go from this prison. The warden called me in and said, I have decided that I'm going to let you start your book club, but I'm only going to allow you 6 people. And he said, why and how are you going to get your book? I said, I have a friend that would buy the books. I will have them sent to you so you can check them for contraband. I picked out 6 people. One of the person that I picked out was a Ku Klux Klansman by the name of Henry Francis Hayes. I want to tell you Henry Francis Hayes' story before I tell you about how he did in the book club. The day Henry Francis Hayes was conceived, his mother, his father, his community taught him nothing but hate. In the state of Alabama, if you go to school with a mark on you by law, the teacher has to call Child Protective Service. And I often thought about when Hayes went to school, he used every racist slur in the book, but nobody called Child Protective Service. We love to say it takes a village to raise a child. Where was this village when this young man was being mentally abused? Then as Hayes got older, his father was the Grand Wizard of the Klan. He gave his own son an order. He ordered him to go out and kill the first black male he came across. Hayes and 2 other Klansmen got in his car and they came across a 19-year-old black male that was mentally retarded. They befriended him and got him in the car. They stabbed him repeatedly. Stabbed him wasn't good enough. They got out and threw a rope over the power line and they hung him. That wasn't good enough. Henry Francis Hayes took out his pocket knife and cut off the black male genitals and then stuck it in the black male pocket. Henry Hayes came to death row and I didn't know who Henry Hayes was. But I talked to Henry every day. About a month or 2 months later, one of the black guys sent me a note and said, do you know who you're talking to? And on there I thought, Hayes, Henry. He had put on there who I was talking to. And I said, Henry, why you didn't tell me who you were? But instead of Hayes answering the question, I asked myself, did it matter? And I had to be honest with myself. No, it didn't matter. Because I know that Hayes, by no fault of his own, through his father, through his mother, through his community, was taught to feel the way that he felt. I told you earlier, my mother taught me compassion. My mother said no matter what one does in life, he or she still deserves compassion. And Henry, of all people, needed this compassion. Every black male on Alabama death row treated Hayes with respect. Every black male on there was given respect by Hayes. I hate to be the one to inform you this morning. Death row is the only place that I ever been that I never experienced any racism. For 30 years. Every man there referred to each other by their name. Every man there wear the same clothes, the same tennis shoes, eat the same food. I guess there's nothing to be racist about. But for 15 years, I got to know Hayes. For 15 years, I showed Hayes love and compassion. And then in the state of Alabama, on the night of your execution, they ask you two things. What is it that you want for your last meal? And do you have any final words that you want to say? Hayes informed the state that he wanted an 8-ounce steak. I said, Henry, you ready to die? He said, what you mean? I said, that's what you want, a steak? 8 ounce? He said, yeah, Ray, that's what I want. He said, Ray, I don't mean no disrespect, but if it ever came to you, what you gonna want? I said, Henry, what I want, they got to go to the forest and find it. I said, when they bring it back from the forest, that ain't what I told you I want. I said, Henry, I'm going to send them to the forest from now on. I said, if there's a law that say that I can't be executed until I have my last meal, I said, Henry, I'm going to be here forever. I said, but you ready to die. And as Henry ate his steak, when he got through eating the steak, they asked Hayes, is there anything you want to say? Henry said, all of my life, my mother, my father, my community lied to me. The very people that my mother, my father, my community taught me to hate are the very people that showed me what love is. Tonight, as I leave this world, I leave this world knowing what true love feels like. I am convinced, just as one is taught hate, you can teach love. I am convinced by writing this book, I learned to forgive. The men that put me on Alabama death row did not write me, have they text me, have they emailed me,